Hello everybody. So today we are going to learn the topic client administration. So in this topic we will be first knowing the concept of client and how to create the client copy, what are the types of client copies and how one should perform local client copy and revert client copy. So a client is nothing but an independent business unit within an R/3 system. It is an organizational and legal entity in the SAP system. As if in the slide there are 3 clients, 100, 200, 300. So I have given like 100 for a development client, 200 for quality and 300 for production client. So client is basically in a physical SAP system, there can be multiple clients in each of the system of SAP system landscape. So every client has its own user data. So as you've seen, like in every client there could be more users. On the production client there will be less users, as it divided like which users can access to development, which users are allowed the access to quality and production. So the main objective of the client is to keep the data isolated, right? All the business management data is protected here because other clients cannot access them. The data in a client can be only visible within that client. I mean, like if you want to see the data of client 100 and 200, you cannot. It won't be visible. Okay. So the data in a client can only be visible within that client. Now, data in the R/3 are classified as client dependent and client independent. So when the SAP objects are just used by only one client, those are defined as a client dependent data. Okay. And for example, users, customizing, etc. So there are some objects as ABAP programs which are used by all the clients in SAP system. Then those objects we call it as a client independent data. So hope you have understood the difference between client dependent and client independent. So client dependent is nothing but if you are using the objects only within the client. Okay. And if you are using the objects created by ABAPers which are used by all the clients, then we call it as a client independent. So if you want to know whether a table is a client dependent or independent, how are you going to figure it out? So you can search that in a field MANT. We call it MANDT. This is a MANT which you can get the information whether the client is dependent or not. Okay. So the client dependent tables always include the client field MANDT. Okay. So if there is a MANDT, then you can easily say that this is a client dependent. Okay. As I said, like client is nothing but a 3-digit number. Okay. So SAP comes with some pre-configured clients, as I was discussing in my earlier sessions, that SAP, when you install it, by default give you 3 clients. What are those? 000, 001 and 066. So these are the pre-configured clients. Client 00 is considered to be a SAP reference client and contains the client independent data of R/3. So special admin tasks are performed here as user SAP star and DDIC. So as you know already that super users are SAP star and DDIC. Similarly, client 001 is a copy of client 000, with the difference being that the data is client dependent. So you do not have to change any settings here. It should remain standard. So this is a copy of client 000. So whenever after new installation, both 000 and 001 clients are identical, but after an upgrade, okay, the 000 will have an additional customizing data. So a lot of customers sites does not use 001 client at all. So what is client 066? 066 is for SAP Early Watch service. This client enables SAP to remotely access the customer system. So SAP provides the service to the customer to improve the system performance. So that's why client 066 should not be changed or deleted from the system. So this is meant for only SAP to remotely access to your system. Apart from these three pre-configured clients, you will see some more clients from SAP depending upon the add-on installed, right? For example, if the company is having like IS oil, okay, is being installed, then all the IS oil related activities are done through the client 065. Okay, so this is very important concept that you have to know. So I will take an example. Here say client and name and the description. Okay, so this is how you are seeing if you want to design a client. Okay, initially when the SAP installation has been done, then you have to create some clients for development, quality and production. So here you will be seeing like how are you going to design those things. So let us take 200 client. Okay, that we take that 200 client is for customization. Okay, so this is for customizing or for development activities. Okay, similarly I will take one more client, say 210. This client we will create for sandbox. Okay, and we will create one more client 220. Say we create this for test purpose. Okay, for any development testing, once you do that customization, you have to test, right? So this is, you have to create 220. Then let us take one more client. Okay, and this is one more testing. In some companies they will want to do one more testing called quality assurance testing. Okay, and similarly 310 for training purpose. So for end user training we will create this client. Okay, and lastly we will create a 400 for what? Production. So here you see, like during SAP system implementation, many different clients might be required to fulfill different roles in the implementation procedure depending upon the landscape what the company is using. So here, as I said, like 200 client for customizing. So what happened in this client 200, all the application customizing and system development are performed in this client. Okay, so the system configuration of this client can be transported to test, QTST, TRNG, and production. Whereas in client 210 sandbox, this is for general test client, initially created as a copy of the client 000. It is refreshed periodically with a copy of the customizing development testing client in a 3-system landscape. So sandbox, usually we take the copy of a development or customizing client, means copy of 200. So in a 1-system and 2-system landscape, the source client for refreshing the SAN is QTST. So if any company having a 2-system landscape, then usually they will refresh the client sandbox, okay, using the QTST. Now the client 220, this is for test purpose, because copies of customizing changes are moved to the test for unit testing. So once you have done the customizing and development, you have to test it in the test server. Okay, so this client 220 you have to create for test purpose. So used for testing the changes made in the customizing development client. Okay, so the person responsible for the customizing or development will perform the testing. Similarly, the client 300 is quality assurance testing. So copies of customizing changes are moved here for system testing. So the testing here is usually performed by a different team. See, so that's why I have created this client 300 and 220. So 220 is usually used by the users who have create and customize that in the 200 client, and here the testing. But for 300, the team will be different for testing. Similarly for 310, as I said, it's for end user training. So end users are trained on the R/3 functionality in this client. So once the changes have been tested and signed off in the quality assurance testing, they can be imported into this client. Lastly but least is production 400. So this client is used for the productive operation of the configured R/3 system. Before production work begins, the system must be loaded with master transaction and historical data. So this is a concept. This is how in every company they create the clients according to the landscape they have. So in our next session, we will be learning how to create the client, and we will also be seeing how to copy the client within the system and remotely. Thank you so much. Bye. Hello everybody. So as you have seen in our last session about the concept of client, so today we are going to see how to create a client. Okay, so for that you need to use the transaction SCC4. Okay, so I'm going to create a new client by using the transaction SCC4. Once you click on that transaction, as I told, you will be getting 3 predefined clients once your SAP is installed. What are they? They are 000, 001 and 066. Okay, so to create a client, you need to select this icon, display or change. So the table is cross client. Continue. Once you continue, you will see a new entries icon. So click on that new entries. So you will see here you have to define the information. So which client you want to create? Let us say we want to create a client 200. Okay, so that we use this client as a test client. City, you can provide, like wherever you're working, you have to provide that city name. So I will take as Chicago. Now logical system. Okay, so as I told in the logical system topic that we need to define a logical system for this client 200. So here you cannot define the logical system name of any other client. Okay, so this logical system is created for 000, but we need a logical system for the client 200. So I will open another session. As you already know how to create the logical system, you need to go to transaction SALE and you have to go to basic settings, and then you have to go to logical system. Here you have to define the logical system. So once you click on new entries, it will ask, so you have to give like DEVCLNT 200. So okay, but since DEV is not our SID is NSP. Okay, so NSP CLNT 200, and we'll define this logical system for client 200 and hit enter, and you have to save this. Once you click on save, again it's asking which transport request number you want to save. Whether you want to keep in the same transport request number, you can put it, or you can create another transport request. I want to keep on the same, so hit continue and come back. So this is how we have created one more logical system for client 200. So go back to the client creation page, and now here you can see the logical system tab. If you click, you can select the logical system which we created. Okay, and the client role. So as I have explained in my previous session, like what kind of client you are using this for. I mean, like for production or for test or for customization or which. So here you have to select like test client, since we are using it for test client. Okay, now here you can see the changes and transport for client specific objects. Okay, so this is very important to know, like what do you mean by changes without automatic recording. If you want to use this client as a sandbox client and you do not want to record or create a change request every time a change happens to the client, then you have to select this option. If for automatic recording, if all the changes to the client should be recorded in a change request, then you have to select automatic recording of changes. If you want to select no changes allowed, it's chosen, that means then no changes will be allowed to this client. You must choose this option for client in the productive environment. So if you are creating a client for production, then you need to select this option, no changes allowed. Okay, so usually this will be selected only for productive environment. What about changes without automatic recording, no transport allowed? Basically this option is used when you do not want any user to create a transport from this client. Okay, so I hope you understood the difference, what happens if we select this. So basically the client independent object changes category determines if the client independent data maintenance is allowed in the new client. Okay, so to choose the right option from, you must know the different definition of client independent customizing objects and repository objects. As I have explained in my previous session about the client dependent and client independent. So the example of SAP repository objects are data dictionary objects, module, pools, and screens. And client independent objects apply to all the clients, right? And the factory calendar is an example of client independent objects of customizing. So these are the options, and this you have to select like which you want to keep for that. So here you are just taking changes to repository and cross-line customization allowed. If you go down, so here you don't need to click anything, okay? Just go and save this client. So what is telling, be careful when changing the logical system, because as I told, like client dependent independent concept, so be careful whichever the client you are using, you have to define that logical system name. Continue. So data was saved. Click on save and come back. So once you come back, you again click on save and go back. So if you want to see whether your client is created, you can check by using SCC4. So now you can see you have created the 200 client for test purpose. So this is how you create the client. Okay. So we will learn in our next topic like how to do the client copy. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye. So as we have seen in our last session about the concept of client administration, and we have also seen like how to create the client, right? And now today we are going to see how we do local client copy. So before I proceed with the client copy, I want to make you understand some important points. So as I told before, that client copy is the mandatory first post installation steps for filling up the data in newly created client. So for the stability of the system, you need to always schedule the client copy in the night time when the users are not working in the system. To avoid data consistency, the user should not keep on working in the source or target clients when the client copy is going on. Other important thing is that for the best performance, always schedule the client copy in the background. Since if you schedule the dialog, possibility the job can be cancelled due to long running job, right? So users can get slow performance issue. So that's why for the best performance, you always schedule the client copy in the background. One more important thing, that proper authorization is required to run the client copy. As a SAP basis consultant, you should have SAP_all profile to complete a client copy successfully. So to do the client copy, you have to use the transaction SCCL. Let's proceed with the client copy. So since we have only two clients, 00001, okay, and 066 is the early watch, okay. I'm logging with IC. Okay, now enter the transaction SCCL. We are doing local client copy. Okay, local client copy is nothing but here the data is copied into new client from a client within the same system. Okay, so Now since we are in 000, okay, so I want you to know that whenever you have created a new client, okay, for say example, previously we have seen we have created a client 200, right? But you have to log in with 200 client. You're already in 000, and how are you trying to do the local client copy? So this is usually lot of time I seen the users consultant do the mistake. So this I did intentionally to show you. Okay, so I'm just going out because as you already created the client 200, right? So when you already created the client 200, then you have to log in with that client, and then you have to copy from your source client, which is 000. Okay, so this is very, very important. That's why I did know you, because people will say I'm getting error, I'm getting this issue, I cannot do the local and copy. It's saying that target client is productive and protecting against client copy. That means you are in the wrong client and doing the local client copy. Okay, so you have to log in with the newly created client. So what is your newly created client? It is 200. So now here the question comes, you have created a new client, but what about the user? Which user you will take here? You will take SAP star, but what is the password, right? So here keep in mind that the password will be pass. Okay, so this is very important. So when you are doing the client copy, okay, after the newly client creation, the new user will be your SAP star and the password will be your pass, all in lowercase characters. Okay, so let's enter the password pass, PASS, hit enter. So you are successfully logged into the client. So this is how whenever you create a new client, you log in with SAP star and the password PASS in lower characters. Now you have to enter the transaction SCCL and hit enter. Now here if you see the source client specify the source client from where the data will be copied. So you want to copy from the source client 000, right, to the client newly created client. Now profiles, there are some selected profiles, right? There is SAP underscore all, SAP underscore APPL. Like I told, like when you are creating a client, you should know for which purpose you are creating a client. As you have taken the test, so here all the test activities related profiles should be provided. So since you have did the customization in the development, now you are doing the testing. So I recommend to take SAP underscore cust, that is customization for this client 200. Okay. So once you define this parameters, then you have to schedule as job, background job. Okay, so click on the schedule as background job. So please do not run in the dialog, so better to run the background jobs. So here it's asking which background server. Okay, so it is optional. If you have a different background server, you can assign that, so it's not mandatory. Okay, so you can leave it as it is. Now you have to click on schedule job. So once you click schedule job, you have to assign the time. As I said, like night time is the best time to run this activity. So since now I'm showing you so how the client copy will be done, so I'm doing it immediately now. Once I click immediately, I will go and save this, and once I hit save, it will verify that you are trying to copy the data from your source client 000 to your target client 200. Okay, so say continue. Once you hit continue, it will start client copy. So how do you know whether my client copy was done successfully or not? To know that, you have to go to transaction SCC3, where you can see the log of your client copy, whether it has been finished successfully or not. Okay, so if you go to SCC3, you will see here the log of your client copy. You can also see in SM37, because we have scheduled this in background jobs. Okay, so if you see here, we are doing local client copy from the source target. Okay, so if you double click on anywhere on this row, it will show you, how many number of tables is trying to copy from the client 000. Okay, how many lines have been copied. So this is how you perform the local client copy. As I said, you can also check from SM37, which is your background jobs, right? So SAP Star has all the authorization to see, and if you execute, you can able to see the job we have scheduled for client copy. You can see here it's active and it's running. So this is how you are going to set up the same thing in the company if you are trying to copy the client within the system, that is local client copy. Okay, so in our next session, we will be seeing how to do a remote client copy. Okay, so thank you so much for attending. Bye. Hello everybody. So as we have discussed in our last topic about RFC destination, so in this topic we are going to learn how to do remote client copy. We have seen how to do local client copy, and we have also seen how to create the clients. Okay, so let us proceed further with the remote client copy. Now, as we've seen in local client copy, when we schedule the job, if you want to check whether that local client copy has been done successfully or not, what I told you have to go to SCC3 to check the logs. So what is saying, we have created a client 200 and we have did the local client copy from the source, which is 000, and it says successfully completed. So this is how you need to check. Okay, so now we will create one more client. Okay, to create one more client, let me go into DDIC and we will create a client very quickly, as you are already aware of creating a client. So I will be going a little bit fast. And here you have to click new entries. Let us take a client 400 and I'm taking as a demo client. Okay, just for demo, and everything I'm not saying. Okay, here I will be taking a demo. Okay, and then I'm making it as save. Okay, now I have created a new client 400. Okay, that has come out, and now what I'm doing, so I am saying that the 400 client is in another system. Okay, and you are trying to copy the data from client 200 to 400. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to log in to the client 400, right? So as I said, like whenever you create a new client, you have to enter with using the password pass. Okay, so once you enter into this, now as I said, for creating a remote client copy, you need to use a transaction code SCC9. Okay, SCC9 is the transaction code for creating a local remote client copy. Hit enter, and now you see here in the remote client copy, what is asking? Target client is 400, right? And what is your source destination? You are trying to copy with the RFC. So as I told, why I have explained the RFC, how to create the RFC. Now you can see here, we have created one connection called RFC destination QS. You have seen that, right? So that is what we want to communicate with this QS. Okay, now this is the source destination which we have created. Now here one question, we have created the RFC destination QS in client 000, okay, and now once you have given the target client and the system name is NSP here and the source client is 400. Okay, now after providing information, you need to schedule a okay, I think I've given, let me go and check in the client 200 whether we have RFC destination created in 200 or not. I believe not, because we have created RFC destination for 000. So we have to check for client 200. If it is not there, then we have to create it quickly. So it's there already. The only thing you need to add some information like log on. Okay, so this you need to give the information here, client. So you are making the RFC destination for this client, right? 200. Okay, so we have the SAP star and we have the password pass. So it's telling user can be used for remote in target system. Save it, and if you want to check the connection, you can check the connection from user using client 400, not from here. Okay, let me come outside from this client completely, and we will go now to our client 400, and we will first see whether we can able to remotely connect to the QS or not. So I'm going to SM59. Here we'll go to RFC destination for QS, and then we'll click remote log on. So see, from 400 you have moved to the client 200. So this is how we need to provide the information there. Then only you can able to remotely log on. Okay. Now we will go to remote client copy and give the same settings there. Okay. So SCC9 is our the transaction code for remote client copy. Okay, now we have to click and select the RFC destination for QS. So see, now it took the current client, which is 200. So previously it was 400. Why? Because we haven't provided the user ID and password for the client 200. That's why it didn't take properly. So this is how you need to identify what you are doing. So now the target client is 400 and your source client is 200, right? Now same thing as we did for the local client copy, schedule as background jobs. Okay, remote client copy might take more time compared to local client copy. Why? Because this is we are doing remotely. Now he's telling you have not specified a copy profile. So you need to specify which profile you want to give. As in local client copy, which we have given SAP_cust. Okay, so same thing I'm giving here. Schedule background job, select schedule and select immediate and save. Okay, and hit continue, and the remote client copy will start. So it will take around, depends on the number of tables, and then it finish the remote client copy. As we seen that local client copy finished successfully as what we did from 00 to 200. Similarly here also you will be going to see once this is done successfully, you can able to see in SM37. Okay, so it will copy from the RFC destination. Okay, since we did in a within a system local client copy, that's why it's showing from 00 to 200. But since we are remotely doing the copy, that's why this client copy RFC. It is nothing but remote client copy. So I hope you understood the concept, and you have also seen a practical how to do remote client copy and local client copy. So I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you so much. Bye.